Okay, we are live on YouTube. Is my screen smooth? Just give a
Yes, sir.
thumbs up if everything is working and you can hear me. So today we'll be stylizing some trees. So when you are practicing any cartooning and or such, don't start from existing illustrations by other artists. If you want to build up your observation and simplification skills, find out photos where you can stylize from. Um, my canvas here is 8" by 10", 300 dpi. And for sketching, I'm using a 6B pencil brush, which is some 39–40%. And I'll use some light red color for my rough sketch. So let's draw some trees, and I'll be drawing like this small, so I can fit a lot of trees on this page. So keep your sizes the way I'm drawing. So let's observe this tree now. So whenever you're illustrating something, we build up our object from the construction. So first of all, don't go into too much detail. Try to capture the bigger shapes. Okay, so you can draw along with me now. So right now the biggest shape is the tree trunk, and there's these two canopies here, and I tend to use my warp tool just to get things in place. So this is my largest blocking of the tree. I just reduce the size so that we can fit more on the page. I'm drawing very light in this stage. Now we'll draw the basic shapes on top. All right, we'll start with the tree trunk. And I tend to exaggerate a bit as well. So even if the tree trunk is very thin here, I will draw it a tad bit light, thicker. And this tree trunk goes all the way up to the top. And in my eraser brush, I'm using Eagle Hawk brush, which you can find in drawing, so that I have a larger size brush to erase with. Okay, this is just the construction of the tree. And now we'll just put up large shapes in places. And I'll be teaching how to show depth in your drawing as well. So the largest shapes that I can see is just draw these ovals. There's a small oval here. There's an oval here. Here. A smaller oval here. And here. And drawing the bottom part. But we'll block out as 3D shapes. And for the upper area, and I'm keeping these overlapping shapes. I'm just observing where I can block out these large shapes, and I'm keeping them overlapping so we can show a bit of depth later. And we are all about simplifying the trees here. Okay. Now let me just show you something. Now we have drawn this oval. Okay, I'll draw it on a new layer. We have drawn this oval. Now how we are going to add detail is, think of the tree as the leaves. The leaves are going in this direction. Okay. Because of gravity, they will fall down. So on top of this oval, uh, if we are supposed to, light this oval, and if we decide the light direction is from top right, then lighting a sphere is easier if you have done it before. This is the shadow and this is the light. Okay, so it's easy if you block into solid shapes like this, 3D shapes. So now if we add detail on top, we add some leaves here and try to simplify. And the leaves on the bottom side will be drooping downwards like this. And this we are just breaking up the edge. Okay. And similarly, we'll break the shadow as well. So the shadow edge will be broken like this. And we'll add shading to this area. Okay, this is the way we are going to break down the whole tree. I'll turn it off. And now on a new layer, I'll use a dark brown color. So this is the color I'm using. And I will now draw my details starting from here. I'll just draw all the canopy details and then we'll add the shading, which will add depth to the tree. So using our spheres as a reference, we broke up the edge. This is how you can quickly add some edge definition and detail. And remember, when you're drawing trunks, your tree goes on thickening at the bottom. I'm using these straight lines, short straight lines so I'm not using smooth lines. To stylize, I'm using these short straight lines. Just continue going thinner. And we are not doing the exact thing that we are seeing on the left. We are trying to draw a realistic tree stylized. Now, this canopy here is on the back side. So we'll just draw it peeking wherever is there. So I'm always thinking of the overlapping, what is happening. So this extreme left is on the closest plane. Then this one is behind it. Angle all your leaves detail downwards. I'll keep this one in front. So I'm drawing the overlapping. Now let's add the shadow. Let me just check my stream if everything is okay. Okay. Now to add depth to this tree sketch, we'll add shadows. So I'm observing from the left, this top part is lit, then these are in shadow here, and this is somewhat lit. So we'll draw the edge for the shadow here and keep our strokes one directional, equidistant. Now this area is going behind. So we'll add a lot of the area in shadow. And the tree trunk, I'll just darken the whole thing here because it is in shadow. But here it is lit on one directional. So I'm adding shadow, leaving out white space for the light. And I want to push this one entirely back. So I'm just shading the whole thing. And we'll mark a shadow line and just make this one darker. So now it looks like this is lit and slowly this goes on darker as is behind. Let's mark the rest of the shadows, giving it some three-dimensionality. Now these canopies are totally behind, so we'll make them darker. And these trunks are in shadow. All right, that's our first tree study. Can add some smaller branches here. All going good, guys? Does anyone want to show me their sketch? I will continue to next tree. I'll just stop the share for 1 second so you can show me. Yes, Pranav. Did you not shade the behind size? So we have kept the light from the left to right. So the right, all of them should be in shadow. So shade all of them. And yeah, even the trunk gets some light information on it. Sai, you want to show me? Your defocus is on, so it won't focus. That's pretty good. So overall, if we are thinking again what I pointed out to Pranav, it's like we are going from light on the left to dark on the right. Let me just share my screen again. So here, if you see this overall shape, we are going light to dark here. So this is lit up and this is dark. So what that is saying is all these branches we are making them in shadow as observed from the reference. All these places are in shadow as the light direction is from this side. So that's why these are all shaded, and it gives a overall effect of the light coming from this side. So that's why this is the largest lit up area. Then it goes on smaller, smaller, smaller as this is facing away from the light direction. Okay, we'll move on to another tree. I'll again choose my other color and the sketch layer. I'll draw here. So here the trunk is very wide. So let's make it even wider. And my basic shape is sort of like this. So this is what I want to follow here, and just adjust it on my page. All right. And I'm not drawing detail. I'm just drawing the construction here first. So this trunk is going on dividing here. And this area is in dark. So this is our trunk construction. And if you notice, I have drawn it really thick. And there's one trunk going behind as well. And let's draw the canopies now. Now see a lot of leaves are dangling here on the bottom. I will draw bigger shapes as I see them. Keep your shapes big, small, medium, not just even sizes, because this is a very organic thing we are constructing. And keep shapes overlapping as well. Okay, now this has turned out in a very different tree than the first one. I'll go to my details layer, choose a dark brown. And let's start adding some details. The trunk has some roots visible here. So we'll add that. Now let's draw leaves some other way. So we'll break apart this edge, but draw some dangling leaves here. That just gives a new character to this tree, makes it different from our first one. Also, you can add some stray leaves like this and branches to stylize. Actually, I can add them to my first tree as well. Just some lines sticking out here and there. Adds more character to the tree. Now this trunk is going behind and this is coming in front. Then let's draw canopies here, again dangling. Notice how I'm overlapping these as well. I'll shade it soon. Draw short straight lines. Looks better than smooth lines. See how different the two trees are. This branch is going way to the top, connect with the canopy here. Let's draw this one overlapping, obscured by the trunk. Make sure you add these smaller shapes as well in some places. So let's start shading now. I'll add these lines which show the curvature of certain branches, at least the major branches. And we'll add the shadow from our reference. Try to use curved lines where you are breaking the shadow from the light. This line is curved following the curve of the tree. Now let's add shadow to the canopies. I'll just break apart the light from the shadow. Now I want to show this one darker because it shows overlap here. And this whole canopy is in darkness. Again, here the light is coming from the top left. To show overlapping in these dangling leaves, I am using light and dark. If you turn on your sketch layer, turn off, then it looks, the final one looks like it is lit from the left. And that was our main goal, to add some depth and light information. You can add some stray, these lines, giving it some fluff, and add some stray leaves. So making sure that these areas, the branches are clearer. How's it looking, guys? Are you enjoying drawing trees? Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'll find something different. Let's draw this one. Back to my sketch layer and my lighter color. Let's draw the trunk. I think I'll scale down everything after I'm done. I want to get this S shape more exaggerated. And let's draw the big shape. All right, let's move on to drawing some of the branches. So the branches are extremely horizontal here. And the leaves are, now this tree has needle leaves, but we'll draw the larger shapes first and then draw the detail. And it's sort of turning upwards. So I'm just drawing these large shapes.
Sir, I want to show my last 3 second one. देखो
Yes, yes, sure. Hmm. Overall, I can see the shadow has worked out well. Are you happy about the tree?
पिछले वाले
I will say get this dark area going as well. So here is the lighter shadow, and then the one behind is even darker. So it will add one more depth to your tree. So right now it's just light and mid shadow that you have. You can add some darker areas, right?
like this.
Yeah, add the third, the darkest tone that you see here behind the branches. If there is more overlapping going on here, you can add the darkest tone. So it just adds a third layer to your tree design.
Okay, sir. Got it.
We'll get this flowing shapes going on. So we are after all stylizing some trees. Overall, I want to select this and warp it a bit to get that S curve happening more. Now let's draw the details. And this time the leaves are pointy, needle shaped, like you see here. So let's see how this works out. We are just changing the stroke now to get the effect. And again, I am adding some darker lines on the bottom area. Let's get this trunk going on. To push a branch, you can add darkness. To push, I mean by pushing, it's like in depth. Now these are in shadow and the light is coming from top right here. So some branches on the left will be in shadow. And slowly we are getting the effect of light and shadow here. Let's push this branch below and get some darkness of the branch as well. So we are just learning different techniques, different strokes to draw trees. Drawing from observation is the best thing because you learn new shapes, new arrangements in nature. Now this branch, I want to keep it more in light, so I will not shade a lot on the top. And that's our third tree done. Get some light information if you can. So you can tell that this light is coming from the right. I'll just scale down all of my drawings so we can do more trees. Let's move to another one. So here it is very much a stable, straight on tree. So the shape somewhat like this. Let me reduce it. Now let's study where the branches are. So the branches this time are going downwards. They're barely visible. But you have these clumps happening again. Okay, let's go on adding detail. As I'm drawing, I'm pushing back some leaves.
सिक्स भी पेन यूज कर रहे हो?
Yes, say 6B pencil. Darkening this trunk as a shadow casting. And let's add some texture. think in terms of layers so that there are some leaves which are completely overlapped. All going good, Pranav?
यस सर कर रहा हूँ, मेरी थोड़ी स्पीड स्लो है आपसे.
Hmm. We had a dead tree here, but we'll just draw a tree which is okay, this is better. So it's completely trunks. I'm drawing the big shape here. Let's observe the division of branches. There's a lot of branches. We'll simplify. Now, in terms of leaves, I'll just split them up into some parts. Like this is one part.
सर सीरीज.
Yes. Very good. More detail can be in the edges breaking apart, like I have done here.
को समझ में लाइक
Hmm.
थोड़े समझ में
Hmm.
क्लीन होती वो ये
Make
वाली.
sure you are not just drawing one line, but what I'm doing is I am drawing things like some are in front, some are in back. So you have these, you know,
या जैसे मैं एक लाइन में ऐसे कर रहा हूँ
Ah, so you
आपने
pick up the line. It looks better.
सेशन के बाद फिर से बनाऊंगा.
Yes. So we'll you see notice these shapes happening here. I guess I'll do this one like here. This is still a rough construction. And now I will use the darker color. We'll start with the trunk. And since these are very less leaves, I'm just adding some detail like this. So if we turn on the sketch, turn off the sketch, this is all that we are seeing. Not much shading here. I'm trying to represent the tree in a simple way. All the lines are disconnected except the tree trunk. All the leaves are disconnected. I'll just make this more fainter so I can draw it. I'm going from thick to thin for the branches. So now if I turn off my sketch layer, this is what is visible. I'll just add some more detail to the top area. So there's still some underlying structure happening here, forming the shapes. Okay, we'll do one last tree. Let's pick a different tree. Okay, this one. Let's make space. So this tree has a nice twist happening in the trunk. I will just exaggerate that shape here. And these are major canopies, the larger shapes. Just make it smaller so I can fit it. So this is the simplification of the tree. Now let's sketch it out. So this twist is happening here. So I'm adding that to my sketch. Okay, let's draw the canopy. This time I want to stylize it more. So I'll just draw some round spheres. Or maybe I will draw something with edges. So it's curved edges happening here. All right, these are our major shapes. Let's go on this other layer with the darker color. I'll just make this more transparent. And now my light is falling from this side. And I'm leaving mostly smooth, all of them. So there's a super stylized tree. Let's get some light and shadow information happening. So if you can see from the reference, this whole side is lit up and the left side is in shadow. And this whole block, which is in shadow, will make it darker by cross hatching. So that's it. We have done stylized studies of 6 trees today. Hope this exercise was helpful for you. How's it going, Pranav?
यस सर, बना रहा हूँ, ये देखो। विजिबल है?
What you sharing your screen?
स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ मैं। वीडियो ऑन की थी मैंने फोन से।
I'll stop my screen share. You did not do the rough
करी
sketch.
थी, करी थी, वो मैंने आपको दिखाने के लिए
Okay.
वो भी करी है।
The overall, the shape is looking like a circle. If you notice mine, I have broken apart that silhouette.
या
Okay.
वो अभी इधर मैंने करने वाला,
Then
इधर ब्लॉक्स रह गए।
the overall, let me just show you again. See, this is going in, out, right? Yours is looking like a circle. So ये सब एक साथ है. So just make sure
ओके, गॉट, समझ
variation,
गया,
that's all. Okay.
समझ
So
गया।
you can see the recording later and complete your drawing and share it on the group. But that is it for this session. I'll stop the live stream. Okay.
यस, थैंक्स,
Thank you for joining. Bye bye.
थैंक्स।